Hey everyone, today I want to talk about something pretty interesting happening in the futures prop scene right now. Two of the biggest Forex prop firms, FundedNext and FundingTicks, are entering the futures prop space. Each of these guys have paid over $100 million to traders, which is more than any futures firm except Apex and TopStep. And when I hear Forex, I think of a shady or a scam, but I'm going to give them the benefit because they're top three in the Forex space and has a proven track record with real payouts to thousands of traders. And now they've been running for 3 whole years now. And I'm personally paying attention to them when they're expanding to futures here. So why does it matter for us? For traders like us, I think overall it should be viewed as a good thing because these firms aren't startups. They're coming in with real capital and experience, and they don't have to rely on constant promotion or fees to survive. These guys have huge cash reserves and ready to pay big traders. And them being here just adds pressure for all the other future firms that we already use to stay competitive. Because not only are they trying to compete with pricing, but they're going to bring faster payouts and better support and overall a better product. So you're going to expect other firms looking to compete. And if one of them falls short in customer support or payout delays, you're likely not going to use them if you have many other options here. If you're planning to try any futures prop firms, including the two we're covering this video, FundedNext and FundingTicks, make sure you use our referral link at registration and code SMART before you make a purchase. That's how you unlock cash rebates through SmartPropFirm.com. How it works is if you spend $300, you get $15 back, which is a third of what we receive in commission, straight back to you, and it'll be all tax-free. And it'll auto-sync all your future purchases and reward you automatically from here. And this works with all the top futures prop firms like Take Prop Trader, Tradeify, and My Funded Futures. And there's going to be instructions in the description below. And an important note here, for FundingTicks, you must register using our referral link and enter referral code SMART during sign up to be eligible for a reward. It should look something like this. And for FundedNext futures, you simply just got to use our referral link before you purchase to qualify for the cash rebates. Let's get started with FundedNext futures. These guys are number 2 in the Forex space here. And their motto here is the prop that makes futures rewarding. So the quick benefits here. One-time fee. What that means is no activation fee to start, and also no monthly fee. So if you want to make a purchase with the eval and take you 3 months to pass it, there's no fees, no monthly charge there. Up to 300K max allocation. That basically means you can have anywhere mix and match account size as long as it doesn't go over 300K. So they have 25K, 50K, and 100K. And I'll go more in depth about that when we go to the accounts. And then 24-hour guaranteed rewards. I'll go into that when we move below. And then news trading. News trading, if you want to hold through or trade CPI, non-farm payroll, FOMC, they are allowing you to do that. So here's some of the stats here. They have 95,000 plus FundedNext accounts. And ironically, it's like about a third of them are rewarded traders. And here's a big stat line here. Over 125 million total paid out to traders. I don't know when this was updated, but that's a big number. No one can compete with that, again, other than TopStep and Apex. And then we keep on moving down here. Some key highlights. 3 reliable platforms. The platforms are basically Tradeivate, InTrader, and TradingView. So basically, Tradeivate is a must-have for any future firm. That allows you to connect an InTrader. That allows you to connect to TradingView. And it's just a main priority for futures traders. And I'm sure they might even consider Project X. So guarantee rewards. If you don't get paid at the time you request, if you request right now, and if you don't get paid 24 hours later, they actually pay you a $1,000 bonus right there. And I think this is something that I've never seen before. Basically, they're incentivizing you, saying like, if we don't pay you in time, we'll give you more. We'll give you a bonus. And that's great marketing for both parties, basically. Because if they didn't pay me in time, I'll just post about it. I'll be like, I got my payout. They took me, let's say, 2 days, but they also gave me an extra $1,000 bonus just for their troubles. Which is like, you never see that in any firm. That's for the trader there. And the average dispersed time, so average payout time is 5 hours, which is almost same day payout. And on top of this unprecedented reward here, there's also something that I've never seen before too. 15% performance reward from challenge. So challenge is basically the eval. If you pass the challenge, 15% of that could be used as a bonus contingent if you make 10% in payouts and withdrawals of whatever account size is. So for instance here, there's a 50K account, right? There's $2,500 profit target. 15% of that is $375. So that $375 is the bonus. If you make withdrawals surpassing 5,000, which is 10% of the 50,000, you get this as a bonus. And likewise, 100K, you pass the eval, 15% of it is 900 here. If you make 10,000, which is 10% of 100,000, you get $900 bonus for each account. So that's just a reward in itself, just a free bonus that they want to offer here. So these are account sizes here: 25K, 50K, and 100K. and these are the price points. They have a on-site promotion, which you can also use the coupon code as well. The raw prices is like 130, 250, and then 450. But I believe it's like almost 20% marked down, and then you can also get another 5% if you use our code SMART. Just looking at the stats here, 1250 profit target, $1250, 1250 max loss limit. This is 1-to-1. 50K is also 1-to-1, 2500, 2500. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky for me here. Once you jump from 50,000 to 100,000, you only go up 500 in drawdown, yet you more than double your profit target. I don't see how that's reasonable here. And the prices also goes up tremendously too. So I don't know why the 100K would be even kind of like a reason. That makes the eval even much harder to pass here. But yeah, no activation fee. There's also a daily loss limit, which is basically half of your drawdown, looks like, about there. And max position, 2 minis, 3 minis, 5 minis. I believe this is starting contracts, and you could scale up because I'm positive that at least 100K, you can, once you get enough balance, you can go up to 10 minis, which I think we'll go in the FAQ and see more about that. And there's also a 40% consistent rule. This is applied both on evals and fundeds. That'll make it not 2-day pass, unfortunately. It'll be slightly more closer to 3-day pass. And there's a 10% reset if you want to reset it. So here's a process, a 3-step for the funding process. You just got to do the eval, you get funded, and you get rewarded in 24 hours. Pretty simple there. And moving forward, if you want to purchase account, I'll show you what it looks like right now. You click Tradeovate plus NinjaTrader, you get both, as well as TradeView. And then you press the Get Started. These are all the payout option. I guess you could pay Apple Pay if you pay mobile. This is unavailable in this browser. But I'll likely just do the Visa or PayPal. That's what I usually do. Crypto is 3% processing fee. I wouldn't really recommend that. But what you want to do here, this apply coupon and referral code. You have to do apply coupon here. If you type in SMART, it should give you an extra 5% off. This is not including the 5% rebate that we do with SmartPropFirm already. So this is the all-in price right now, which is pretty competitive. This is, remember, is one-time fee. This is uncapped payouts. There's no activation fees, and all of the above here. So just to recap here, for FundedNext futures, I just want to go over a brief overview in the payout structure. You guys can know what you're going in for. So the payout structure, to request a payout of up to 50% of your profit balance, you simply just need to fulfill these 3 requirements. You need 5 benchmark days, which is basically the profit minimums, the consistent rule, 40%, and then minimum $500 profit in current cycle. I think that's also subsequent cycles. And the profit minimums, it's $100 for a 25K account, $200 for 50K and 100K. So that's very reasonable to do. And if you complete 30 benchmark days, which is the profit minimums, you can withdraw up to 100% of your whole balance, profit balance. So this is very, very similar to Top Step. You do 5 $200 days, you can request 50%. You do 30 days, you request 100%. This is basically copying exactly the payout policy. The only thing that's different is there's a 40% consistent rule, as well as there's no payout caps, which goes into the overview here. Why FundedNext futures, uncapped payouts, no restriction. That is huge. No other firm is really doing that uncapped payout style. So if you make 100K and you fulfill these requirements, you can request 50% of that right there. And why the higher prices? It's 1-to-1 profit to drawdown ratio. Most people overlook that. That makes things very, very easier, much easier to pass a eval rather than other prop firms. There's a one-time fee, so no monthly or activation fee, no recurring charges. And these are the 2 things that are like a bonus that no other firm really has. Is like something new as an introduction. You get 15% profit bonus on evaluation. And if you don't get paid in 24 hours, you also get another 1K bonus. And lastly, uncapped payouts. That's huge. That's why I think this firm will succeed here, because people don't like cap payouts. People want to let their runners run and trade how they want and request as much as they can, milk them essentially. And lastly, backed by massive cash reserves. There's no need for gimmicks. So like if you're comparing like prices, these guys don't need to do sales because they have huge cash reserves and they're not looking to do unsustainable promotion or sales here. And they're just here for the long run. I also want to go over contract scaling. This is what I was looking for. How it works essentially, you start off with the contract minimum, which is what they give you. And as you scale up, you're able to get more contracts. And it's also mini to micro scaling equivalent. So for 100K, you have up to 10 contracts, 50K up to 5, and then 25K is up to 3. I think this is plenty. You just start off with a lower amount, like any other firm with contract scaling. This is perfectly reasonable here. And here are the payout withdrawal methods. They have crypto, essentially a lot of crypto methods. They have RisePay, RiseWorks, and I don't know what TCPay is. So I'm just basically going to say this is RiseWorks, RisePay, and crypto. Are there any news trading rules? Just to go a little bit more in depth in this, there's no restriction on news trading. Traders should be aware of potential risks, as you should, and they just have no restriction on if you want to trade CPI or big news. Just do it at your own risk, at your own cost, which is great because if you're trying to trade with uncapped payouts, you really want to utilize news trading to your favor, because if you are thinking that there's if you can anticipate a directional news because of draw liquidity or whatever method is, this could really accelerate your payout and really do a jump start, because not many firms allow news trading. So inactivity periods and FundedNext features. This is something important that I want to let you guys know before getting started. For evals, you need to make a trade at least one time, or you get deactivated after 7 consecutive trading days. That's trading days, not calendar days. So Monday to Friday, that's 5 days. Then next week, Monday, Tuesday, just make one trade before that Tuesday ends, and then you should be good for another 7 days. For funding accounts, they're more lenient on this. You have 30 days, 30 whole days though. That's extreme. I don't think anyone should be worried about this. That's 30 whole days here. And then what happens when it's breached, basically the account is lost. So just make sure you place one single trade. I don't think anyone should have a problem with this. And then we have prohibited trading strategies of FundedNext features. This is a lot to go by, so I'm going to take a minute to really go through this. Go for the more important part, like exploiting platform errors. That's a given. Account sharing, another thing. You don't want to. They're not going to allow you to work with other traders and like hedge or cheat and stuff like that, like or have someone trade for you. Everything's illegal for all prop firms. So pretty much what it is. Account rolling here. It's high risk practice where multiple challenge accounts are purchased with intention of quick succession of funded phase. So if you're trying to just like psych with your accounts aggressively, if you're doing it at extreme rate, then maybe you get flagged for this and they could have you banned or whatnot. Another thing, exploit. You're just gonna go through this. Abusing slow data feeds. You're just abusing and it's cheating. That's very clear. Here's the kicker here. I want to make sure that you guys know exactly what this means. Copy trade, copy, and group trading. Copy trading refers to replicating trades from another trader or using signal service to execute contracts. Group trading occurs when multiple traders collaborate to achieve specific performance reward objectives, often executing similar contracts simultaneously. So these are Forex terms. We as futures would think copy trading as trading amongst our own account. What I confirm is that is allowed. That is allowed, guys. But what you can't do is signal bot, nor can you work with other traders and coordinate. So that's not allowed. So if you're trying to trade like with Repconto or the Trade Debate group trading feature, if you want to trade just your own accounts, that's perfectly fine. For evals and funded, I already got confirmation on this. This is very important to me and everyone in the community here. So this is somewhat misleading in only the way that the feature standard wouldn't use copy and group trading in this way. This is simply because there's a lot of bad actors in Forex and they tend to cheat. Trading bots, yeah, trading bots not allowed. You can't really do that. High frequency trading, all these things are banned from features in most firms essentially. Excessive micro scalping. So this is something that I want to explain more in depth as well. So you're basically trying to exploit small price changes. This is excessive. This is not just if you're trying to trade in and out. This is when you're doing it as your main strategy here. While scalping is a common trading strategy, micro scalping involves executing a trade that are open or closed within 5 ticks. Imagine 5 ticks. 5 ticks is like literally one NQ point. If you're trying to just do excessive, strong, extreme micro scalping for one NQ point and holding most of your trades under 15 to 20 seconds, that's not sustainable. They don't want that. I think that's very fair. What I asked, like if you could trade like a few points and it's moving fast and you close it, that's like your main style of trading. If you're looking at like if you're looking for your last like 100 trades, how many of them are qualifying for under 15 seconds and under 5 ticks? As long as like not anywhere close to like a majority, you should be good with the micro scalping here. So this is extremely fair. They just want to kill all the bad actors who's like trading for one NQ point essentially, a little bit more than one NQ, and just going in and out. They don't want that. So which is their choice here. Next part here, negative risk reward trading. So what they're trying to say is they don't want unsustainable and high risk strategy. So a reference is similar to Apex. This is basically about risk reward, 5-to-1 risk reward. An example I would say is they don't want you to risk more than $500 to make 100. You can do $400 risk to make 100. That's fine. That's 4-to-1. But don't go over 5-1. I think that's very reasonable. No one is likely going for the 5-1 route anyways. So that's maximum. Don't go over the 5-1 risk reward. Violating the 2% price limit. This is standard for all firms. I'll just try to explain this a little bit more. When there's a 5% difference, and when there's a 5% up or down, I think more likely down, you're not allowed to trade the 2% between 5 to 7. So this is very standard. We've been having that a lot with the Trump volatility with tariffs. So if NQ drops 5%, you're not allowed to trade between 5 to 7%. And lastly, this is probably the most outrage, but for rightfully the right reasons. DCA trading, dollar cost averaging. A lot of people see this as a negative because most people aren't really trying to just add till they go break even. Some people are using it as a strategy to like enter and then as starter, let's say, and then add into the position. So what it's trying to say is you can add DCA is adding more contracts to a losing trade instead of closing it. This is prohibited but this is only for excessive DCA usage. So this is why I also asked for clarification, because it's very important to all traders here if you're using this prop firm. If you're just trying to like enter a starter and then add normally, that's fine. But if you're trying to make an entry and like buy and then it goes down against you and buy again and it goes down against you, buy again, buy again, buy again, that's excessive. So you want to make it reasonable. They said like first, second purchase is fine. Make it make sense essentially, and it's very similar to Apex style. So I think they are going to clear this as long as you're not just trying to blindly add until you're kind of break even or slightly green. Okay, next on up is FundedNext, the other Forex giant that's top 3 in the Forex space and paid over $100 million to their traders for Forex, and now they're in futures. They only launched about a month ago, and let's see why we should trade FundedNext here. Number 1, copy trade. You can copy trade up to 6 funded accounts here. Number 2, platform, Trader, TradeAvate. That's standard. That's all what we want to see. As long as they have TradeAvate, they're going to be good. They have a tougher barrier of entry for TradeAvate versus other platforms like Project X or Rhythmic. No consistent rule. So this is no consistent rule on funded accounts. There is consistent rule on eval, but they pride themselves on having no consistency on funded. And lastly, get paid every 5 days. Fastest reward. 5 days is pretty quick. To their product offering, this is the eval on the left, and this is the fund on the right. I'm gonna take a look right here. 50K, they're the only option. They are gonna release more different offering and different sizes, but for now, they're testing the waters with the FundedNext Pro and one size fits all 50K right now, up to 6 accounts, 300K max allocation, essentially, which is somewhat a Forex standard, I feel like. So this is the evaluation stage, the student account. Minimum trading is 2, so you can pass in 2 days. That means 50% consistent rule. No daily loss limit. There's a max drawdown of 2K, profit target of 3K, so it's like 1.5 ratio from profit target to drawdown ratio. 50% consistent rule, which aligns itself with 2-day pass, and max contract is 2 contracts. And it's $125 per month, no activation fee. So this is the master side. This is the funded. Again, no daily loss limit. There's a max drawdown of 4,000 or of 4%, which is 2,000, and you can get every 5 days. You can get 90% reward split, which is the 90 split that you get and 10% they get. Again, no consistency on funded. That's what they pride themselves with, but 2 contracts and no other fees. So looking more into their program here, this is an overview of one of their graphics. It's essentially showing everything in one go. If you want to take a look at everything that we went over, 50K account size, profit target's 3K, drawdown is 2K. So that's very standard there, nothing too crazy. And I do like how there's no daily loss limit. The only thing though, I think 2 contract is very small. Great thing is no consistency on funded. That's always great. I would rather have all the rules you want on evals, but for the funded, let me do whatever I want on it. And for live funding path here, there's a live program, which is on the right side here. This is a live program here. So it's daily payouts, it's static drawdown. So what that means is if you get upgraded to a live, the drawdown is what they give you, and they use a capital to front the whole amount that you get transferred over. Some firms don't actually do that. So static drawdown is great. Daily payouts, which is very standard for live accounts now, that's like, I feel like you should do daily payouts because you want to resemble as close as you can to a live account here. Scaling bonus of $1,000 extra for every 10,000 profits you make, you get an extra 1,000 on top of it. So that they just basically give you a bonus here. And lastly, monthly compensation up to $400. I'm going to do a deeper dive into this here. So just going to go to the FAQ. This is their overview of the standard model here. The evals we already discussed, 3K profit target on the 50K with 50% consistency rule, which is 2-day pass. Very simple there. And they're just basically explaining you the consistency rule if you don't know what it is. Very clear to explain. And there's a new trading rule. So it looks like for the funded, not on the eval is allowed, but for the funded here, a position cannot be held or open or closed 10 minutes before and after a high impact news event. So, and also important speeches. So I'm assuming this is covering FOMC, and high impact must be the big news factors like the CPI, non-farm payroll. They don't want you to trade news. This is what their firm choice is. So keep that in mind. If you like to hold through news, this is not allowed here. If rewards, minimum is $500 to request a payout. It's 5 green days, 5 profit minimums here of $150 each. If you make 5 days, let's say you start a week, you do above $150 for the first 5 days of the week, you'll get payout at the end of the week on Friday, which is great here. This is good. 5 days is pretty short here. There's others that does 8 days, 10 days. I do like 5 days. 5 days is if you're doing well, you get rewarded, which is great because weekly payouts is possible. Which you get a payout a week, which is 4 payouts per month. That would be game changer there. And for you to request, you just need to get the drawdown to break even. So you have 2K drawdown, you just need to get the balance above 2,000. And from my understanding, you don't need a buffer. So for instance, if you just made, let's say 52,000 from the 50K account, which is 2,000 profits on the dot, you can withdraw into the buffer, which is $1,500. You'll just be left with $500, which is not that much to work with. But money in your pocket here, $1,500 every 5 days, up to 6 accounts. So you do that like on 5 accounts here, or across 6 accounts. What is that? 1,500, 3,000, 4,500, 6,000. Is that 9,000? I need to trust the math here. So 1,500 times 6, 9,000 every 5 days. If you hit it, that's actually really, really impressive here. For cap payouts especially, because there's no activation fee on this, which is making it more of a value product. And upon passing the evals, the subscription is removed. There's no more recurring, and there's no activation fee. So like all the fees are gone after that once you go from eval to funded. So here is the live program for FundedNext. How it works: once a trader has completed 4 successful withdrawals of $1,500 each, which is equivalent to 6,000 for each account. So you got 6 accounts. That'll just be like 36,000 total. That's where they'll max cap you out for the risk. 36,000 total for funded for 6 accounts if you hit all 4 payouts. Then they qualify you for the live transition. So you have 6 accounts. Your starting balance will be 2,500. From my understanding here, every account that's transition, you can move to the live, and each one will give you 2,500. So you have 6 of them. That should be 2,500 times 6. I think that's 15,000 starting balance on live. It's 80-20 profit split, and you're able to withdraw daily. Let's see, if a trader has multiple fund accounts purchased prior to going live, they may continue trading those accounts until each qualifies. So I guess if you have one qualified already, you can still trade sim and hold the live until you don't have any more funded accounts left. Yeah, and lastly, upon qualification, $25 is added to the balance of each account upgraded. So you have 6 accounts, you should start with 15,000 starting balance here. Here's a scaling program. Every $10,000 of profit withdrawn is an additional $1,000 added to the user's balance. So this is their way of reinvesting their split back to you guys. If you have $10,000 profit every time, you get another $1,000 bonus, basically 10% on top of that for every 10,000. And this is a monthly compensation here. From what I'm seeing, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, that is a long time to hold for an account here. But let's see what their benefits is. Making a minimum of 10% in withdrawals from starting balance, trader will receive a monthly compensation of $200, or you do 9 months, you get $300. 12 months, you get $400. I believe this is only for like a total, not per account. That'd be crazy if it's per account. That'd be like 400 times 6. That's like a $2,400. Not sustainable, but they're just giving also another bonus here. And I'm sure if you do very well with a live, looks like there's the scaling program, which is the bonus for every 10,000, and they have the monthly compensation. I think if you just keep on doing well in the live, they just give more benefits and more benefits from there. So here's a brief overview of FundedNext like we did for FundedNext. 50% kisses on eval, none unfunded. Minimum amount is $500 reward to request a payout. You need 5 profitable minimums of $150 each, and you also need to get your drawdown. You also need to get your profits matching the drawdown, which is $2,000, so $52,000 balance, and you can actually withdraw through your drawdown if you'd like. So $52,000 is your balance. You withdraw $1,500, you'll be left with $500 left of drawdown left. If that's what you want to do, feel free to more money to your bank. That's always the objective here. And yeah, $1,500 every 5 days of this profit minimum per account, up to 6 accounts, under a 90-10 profit split. And here is the graphic I said again. Shows the overview. If you want to take a screenshot, look at it, and here's a live program. So these are the Forex giants, guys. 2 different structures. I feel like FundedNext on my evaluation is going more for the Tradeify growth and My Fund Future starters, like a value product, while the FundedNext futures is aiming to take over and compete against Top Step, because uncapped payouts are risks for the firm. But if they do it right, that is a incentive for traders to try out the firm, because who doesn't like uncapped payouts? So it's just based off preference here. I am sure FundedNext will release more different type of product offerings, because they at launch they did have an instant funding option, but they took it away because they launched for a month and they want to test things out. I guess from my assumption, they're just trying out a sustainable model first, and they're just going to break the ice, gather feedback, and then release a model that would make everyone happy and satisfied and look forward to. So these are the 2 firms here. So closing thoughts, these 2 Forex giants. Overall, I think this is a big shift for the futures prop space. We now have a higher capacity with proving prop firms entering the picture. So you have more options now. It's not about who's legit. If there's all these trusted prop firms, it's who's going to provide you better service, who has a better payout policy, who has a better product offering. So the competition increases, and I think that is better for the traders. That forces the hand of other prop firm owners and businesses to stay competitive. If they even be complacent on one thing like customer support, they'll lose out on the competition here. And let me know your thoughts on these two Forex giants entering the picture. Is more prop firms better for the prop industry, or is it worse? Let me know the reasons why, and I'll take a look at it. And lastly, if you're thinking of trying any of these two prop firms out, make sure you use our referral link and code SMART before you purchase so you can secure the cash rebate. Everything with the instructions is going to be explained in the description below. Let me know in the comments what do you think of these two firms. I need to hear feedback from this. I'm excited for this. I hope you guys are. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.